And we are live for the second time. Nothing like it. 2 shows in 4 hours, huh?
Right. Not just 2 shows in a day. No, 2 shows in 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm working on this Sunday. I'm working hard out here.
Oh, we are out here. I am Crunk Chocolate. This is Time Bomb. Below is the Shoppy Charlie. Bow, bow, bow. And we are Shades of Blue. Uh, how are we feeling, y'all?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still trying to catch my breath from the women's match, so I'm still trying to like press. Like I know that the lineup literally just dropped, but I'm still and Charlie said it to us a little bit earlier, but I'm still trying to process it. So like, yeah, that's where I'm at.
See, I'm fully on the guys, like, because I couldn't see, I wasn't, I couldn't be emotionally invested in the women's because I had to drive. So my big focus was like, okay, 10:30, like, this lineup's dropping. I am ready to see is Pac in, is he out, like what's going on, who's playing, like, and now we know.
Uh, yeah, I think I still haven't even got my second cup of cold brew. I've just been on my couch just watching this Newcastle West Ham game, watching West Ham choke a lead. It's just been
Like
awful,
like our friend Brawley said the other day, they scored too early.
way too early. And Newcastle, West Ham looked good, and that's just their thing. They look good until they stop looking good, and then just the wheels come off. It's the 64th minute, and now Newcastle look like they're about to score 3 more goals.
Because you really need at least two goals to feel secure, right? Like one goal leads do not stick in the Premier League. It's really hard to do that to win 1-0. So like if you don't go for that second goal, you're setting yourself up for this heartbreak every single week or anytime you
No,
play a bigger side. Um,
it
so
sounds
it is,
painful.
they are who they are.
It sounds painful. I
That's-
couldn't imagine. Couldn't
They ain't
imagine.
us though. They ain't the champions though.
All right, let's look at this lineup, shall we? It is, I love it. All right, our Man City men are Edison, Walker, Diaz, Ake, Marial, Kovacic, Lewis, a Bernardo, Foden, Alvarez, Halana. Sharpie, how you feeling about this lineup?
Man, I feel validated because I literally said this would be the lineup on Thursday night on the lit stream. Um, you get the two right footers in the back line with Walker and Diaz. You get the left footers with Ake and Vardiol. And then like Rico deserved to start. Like he earned it. Like you played that against Leipzig, you deserve to play against Arsenal. I think Kovacic is definitely obviously the more senior player than Nunez, right? Like so you would want that type of leadership beside Lewis as well, that stability, because Lewis is going to go forward more. And then those front four, we know Bernardo plays in big games, setting ourselves up to see a Daku sub off the bench along with Grealish as options. And of course, John Stone's been on the bench is also really helpful. So I love what we got going.
Uh, yeah, this. I mean, you said it. Like Rico earned the start. Like, he balled out against Leipzig in Germany, in Champions League, and he earned it. Bernardo Silva does start big matches, and you would think that he's going to find a way to make Alexander Zinchenko's life hell, and he probably will. Um, but I mean, that's his job. But
Yes.
yeah, I think I can't see any flaws with this particular lineup based off of the personnel that is available.
I get. I get. Um, I just love the idea of chewing up Zinchenko and seeing everybody loves themselves some Ben White. So I'm going to be paying close attention to how they do against him. but I love seeing Ake and Vardiol, just all these ball playing big dudes, and Walker obviously with the pace, but won't really need it for this Arsenal squad. Oh man, I guess I haven't. I would look. I need more Arsenal fans because I need to see how much they're freaking out. Uh, Sharpie, do you want to read this lineup and then give your
Oh my
thoughts?
God, I would love to. So in goal, Raya, he gets the nod over Aaron Ramsdale. A back line looking like White at right back, a partnership in center back of Saliba and Gabriel. Then Zinchenko at left back, knowing he normally likes to float to midfield. A midfield three of Rice, Jorginho, and Odegaard. Yeah. And then a front three of, as it says up here, Trossard and Nketiah on the wings and Jesus through the middle. But I think all those three can interchange. So it just depends. But yeah, and then on the bench, of course, no Saka, but Martinelli does get on the bench, along with Tomiyasu, Partey, Smith Rowe, Reece Nelson, who didn't get the nod. So, they have most of their guys. We have most of our guys, and may the best team win. What you got, Tom? What you got there? They're set up.
Their midfield is huge. Like having Rice, Jorginho, and Odegaard in their midfield, and not having Rodri, just like the size physicality advantage that they might have there. I think that that's something that does have me a little bit worried, especially with Rico playing. Yeah. Oh, all right, Brighton. Sorry.
They tied it up.
They did.
Nice, good.
But yeah, I think that might be what hurts us in this particular match. I am interested to see the amount that either Alvarez or Foden is going to track back to help that midfield, because I would imagine that Phil is, even though he is going to be out on the left, I would imagine he would come in centrally at some points. So I'm interested to see how that works out against their lineup. Yeah, their midfield is kind of scaring me without Rodri. I'm not gonna lie.
And I didn't
But see,
like.
like, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go, Sharpie. Finish your thought, and then I'll go.
Delay shit. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that their midfield, like Jorginho puts no fear in me. Like he's just a person out there kicking the ball side to side, like, and he's a mark in the midfield. Like you can go at him if you really want to talk about who's gonna be the one to make the mistake. We've seen him do it. I do think they have a great front three that makes things happen. You have some really good passers in Odegaard and Rice, right? Like they can thread some balls in. But I still like our defense on set pieces. Like even without Roger in there, like we still have four really big guys plus Holland. So hopefully we don't concede from there. But yeah, I wonder if we see Gvardiol push up to add support in the midfield when we have the ball, and kind of have that back three set up and like with Walker, Diaz, and Ake, and then almost like a 3-4-3 type of setup or a 3-5-2 build up. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how Pep does because he always wants to win the midfield. So just now you got to get a little bit more creative in how to do it.
And I figured we didn't have any guests for the first match. It was early. I had some people just be like, "Hey, couldn't make it. Things got too crazy." So I felt like we needed to add a little chaos. And the good thing about the kickoff show, it's nice and short, so we can get out of here. So I had to bring on the angry gooner, the homie Ken. How's it going?
Why am I the angry gooner?
Because you are the angry gooner.
What am I angry about? Like, I mean,
This
ooh,
is
sad the way
this is our show. We get to set whatever narrative we want, and you coming on here being like, "Hey, what? I'm not angry. This is being an angry gooner." Just kidding. How's it going, homie? How you feeling?
I mean, I don't know. Like, is this considered a late game since every game like starts at like 8 o'clock in the morning?
This is crazy.
Like,
I mean,
10:30 in the morning. So, like, just really getting my day, like, quote unquote, started for a Sunday. But like, this is a good game to watch. I was checking Liverpool Brighton with Tom. I guess like he's in my top, like right up here. Well, this would be my top guy, so it's kind of pointing kind of weird. But like, yeah, no, this is good. I'm really excited. Just saw the lineups. Heard you guys chatting. Got a really big question, Sharpie. Like, how do you not rate Jorginho in that midfield if you talk about like Odegaard and Rice's passing, right? Like, you would think Jorginho is like, to me, he would be technically the best out of those three, like in terms of distributing the ball. So, like, I just wondered, like, where would your three be? Like, how would you rank those guys if Jorginho's like, if you don't think Jorginho's better than Rice passing? Like, start there.
It's not so much like he's not better at passing. I mean, I think he does his job well. I just don't rate him as a player, right? Like, I just don't. He's not my type of midfielder. Like if I was Arteta, if I was you all, I would start Rice, Odegaard, and Havertz, and just have more legs on the pitch. Because I feel like in defense, like in a counter situation, Jorginho's food. Like he doesn't have the legs to like keep up if there's a break. In my opinion, or to like be that last, that protection in front of the center backs. So yeah, so it's not like he's great at passing. Like that is his best attribute. It's the others.
So here's where I really like this lineup, and I'm interested to see like how they actually like set up in like a three, because if Rice is the deepest one of those three, I think you guys are in trouble. Because like you said, Jorginho is like a technically competent like player, really good technically competent player too, surprisingly underrated. You're right, he has no legs anymore. I'm not sure how many legs he had to begin with, but like he doesn't have them anymore. And like having him in a more advanced role where you have Rice's to cover, Zinchenko as like whatever cover he provides back there, like behind him too. Like I think that's just enough where like if he gets beat high up further, high up enough the pitch, further up, along the pitch where it doesn't really beat you. So like I'm really interested to see where they deploy him, because if they deploy him next to Odegaard, I think that's an upgrade on Shaka, the same way Rice is a upgrade on Partey in that midfield. And I think Thom was right to. I haven't seen your whole lineup, but without Rodri, like if you just tell me there's no Rodri in this team, like to me that fundamentally changes the calculus of the team in a way that like very other players on City would, because like a lot of your guys, I don't want to say like they're interchangeable, but like you have a lot of guys that are like multi-tool players essentially. Like Holland is kind of the only specialist, Rodri is kind of the only like specialist. So.
Okay.
Yeah. You told me to bring the facts, Crunk. You told me to bring the facts. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
He came with the facts.
Yeah.
Can I say something? You said Rodri's missing. How do you feel about Saka missing?
It worries me a lot. It worries me even more that like Jesus is out there, or like, because I believe Jesus is going to be out there. I don't think Nketiah is out there, because like Nketiah, he's a body out there. The same way you say like Jorginho is kind of a body in midfield, I think Nketiah is kind of like a specialist striker too. And if you put him on either wing, he's kind of a body out there. Like, I mean, he can float out there, but like, like you ask him to do like midfield stuff, like he's not going to be good at it. So I think like Jesus is going to end up really being out there. And I mean, you guys can tell me how that went, right? Like, he's going to be serviceable out there.
Great.
But like, I was really expecting or hoping more so to see like Nelson in that role, because he kind of provides the same thing Saka provides in terms of like, what his role is in the team. Like Saka's really like the person in our front three, especially without Martinelli, that's going to like stretch things, right? So like, without Saka, my big fear is just like, how are we going to stretch the field now? Because if you look across those front three, we have fast guys, but we don't really have speed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, Guardiola and Ake are breathing a lot easier seeing Nketiah on that side. Is that the side that they be on, as opposed to maybe the people that they would say see, and then Walker sees Trossard and he's just like, That
Yeah.
ain't shit.
Yeah, because Trussard's role in the team is not to run beyond people from the halfway line the way you would have Martinelli in there, right? He's more like around the box type of guy. You saw
Back to the box.
you saw the goal he scored for Belgium. Was it the last international break where he skated through 2 or 3 people and buried it with his right foot, I believe. That's kind of what he does, right? So my big worry really going into this game is just where's the pace going to come from? And that's going to be the question for me.
Oh, and honestly, I feel I'm incredibly optimistic about this match. Honestly,
Wow.
The
Away from
closer, yeah, the closer we get to this match, the better I feel about this match. I will say, the chaos from this City women's match earlier has me all fucked up though. So
what happened in that match?
our players
What didn't
got
happen?
4 cards in about 1 minute.
There were 9 cards given in that match.
On
2
just our
players were
players.
sent off
What?
because of card accumulation. Chelsea only scored because we only had 7 outfield players on the corner that they took in stoppage time. Kiara Keating played an excellent match.
Yeah, time got one player got sent off for time wasting. Another one got a penalty or got her first yellow for talking at the ref inappropriately how she felt, and then the second one was she was defender beat her, Lauren James beat her, so she pulled her down, and that was the second yellow. And then the goal they scored, we had the 2 players off, and one of our defenders got cramps, so she had to be off the sidelines for 30 seconds. That's when the corner happened, and when they scored, it was one of our players got a yellow after the halftime whistle because she kicked the ball. Yeah, it was just crazy, crazy, and it was.
So hold on, let me hop in real quick. I think the more time I have to let it settle, I don't think that ref did anything egregious. I think the new rules that she followed are the problem, because she literally just went by the letter of the law, which is you can't time waste. You can't they cutting down on dissent. So Lauren Hint wanted to mouth off. You take that first yellow. You can't have that when you're down a person. That was a bad decision on him. So everything was preventable. Greenwood taking 17 seconds. Come on, bro. Kick the ball. Because if it was against us, we would want that same call. So it sucked, but it was for 3 of those, we literally did it to ourselves. And
I don't like this.
Then you don't give yourself that leeway.
So this is interesting.
I'm gonna push back on the second Greenwood yellow. Yes, she did take a long time over the ball, but if it was the 17 seconds that we're counting, for at least 6 of them, Laya Alexandria is still on the ground. So that in itself seems excessive. So if it's just 11 seconds, I don't know.
That's a long time though. That is time wasting. I'm it sucks. It does suck, but what's done is done.
So how do you think? Okay, so this is interesting because I always think about games like this, especially these magnitudes and reffing. How do you think the reffing is going to be for this game? Because we've seen some shoddy reffing over the past couple of weeks. Do you think we're going to get a good performance, or do you can you see this being the game where you at the end of it you're oh man, this call, that call, this call, that call?
It's a Michael Oliver game, and every at least once a match that he refs, there's one call that you're just bruh, for real, we're doing this, and I do believe that there's a high potential for that. I don't know whose favor that goes in, whether that's Arsenal or City's, but that is definitely happening today.
Do you guys worry about playing away from home?
No.
Because I think that's one of the factors for me.
No, we beat y'all there every time.
That's fair. But I mean, I think that as an Arsenal fan, that's one of the things that like I look at, like, like those are the margins that I look at as an Arsenal fan, right? I'm like, okay, like we're at home versus City, that has to like up our chances.
Yes.
Of course I would be confident, like, going into like every game, like, oh, we're the Arsenal, we're gonna win, blah 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 blah. But I mean, like, in the back of your mind, like, the things you think about, like, it's like definitely at home, like in a game like this, like, it goes from we think we can win this game to almost like, we kind of expect to win this game. And it's really interesting to see like how people think away from home, because like, do you think you guys are going to play any differently? Like, because I fully expect Arsenal to like kind of like offensively dominate this match for like stretches of the game.
I think, I mean, I agree with you. I just feel we've had Pep and Arteta, they know each other. I'm not sure what Arteta's going to show. And I guess if he shows something new, that in itself might throw Pep off, because Arteta hasn't changed things up. And the reason why we handled you guys like we did last season was because Arteta's rigidness. And I think maybe seeing the players that we're seeing in this lineup maybe is nodding towards maybe some change, I don't know. And I think that could potentially throw things off. But at the same time, I think that could help us, because we might not be ready for us properly. I don't know.
I think to answer your question, if City were to play differently today, it's not going to be a function of, oh, we're not at the Etihad. It's more of a function of the team that we're playing. So it would not surprise me if we decided that we were going to just play you guys on the counter, and like possession numbers were 57 you all, 43 us. Like that would not surprise me at all, because that's the last time that we played you all, that's what we did. So I think that the change in tactic would be more of a opponent driven thing versus a where the match is.
And for me, I think the biggest miss, or bigger than Rodri being out, is like KDB the most. Like he really shows up to play Arsenal. He always has a through ball. He always has a pass. He has a cross. He has something that like does that leads to a goal and like changes the match, or that shot at the top of the box, or whatever. Like, so missing that element, it's time for Foden to step up. He's been doing it. He has to show up today along with Haaland, and then Alvarez is the wild card, right? Like, if he stays on his pace and his like this streak he's on of like goals and assists, I mean, we could easily see a 3-2 match. Like, I hope it's that type of match versus like a 1-1. I want to see goals. Like, I'm okay with some entertainment, some bad defensive, some mistakes. Like, I want to be entertained, and I want, City to win by 1. That's all I want.
Yeah, I don't think. Thanks for those answers. Those are really good answers. I don't think. Like, I don't think I'm a big like defensive guy as much as I am like, if Arsenal wins, it could be 5-4. Like, honestly, that would be way more exciting. I don't know how much I would like, rate our defense if like, Saliba and Gabriel like, came together for like a comedy of errors of like, 3 or 4 goals. But I mean, like, it would be an exciting game. I actually think it's going to be a little low scoring though. Like, I don't think we've really had like an encounter that was like a lot of goals. Like, it almost feels really like tense and cagey a lot of times. And like, I hate to say it, it almost feels like every game Arsenal feels like they're on the ascendancy. And then, like, something to happen, like KDB of like, split the defense or something. Like, I remember one year it was just like Grealish, or one game Grealish was like, he just created something out of nothing. And like, from there, it almost felt inevitable. So like, yeah, I actually think it's going to be a lot more like tense of a game than like more free flowing. Like, if I was betting, I would take the under 2.5. I don't know what the odds are. I actually haven't looked at DraftKings in a while, but like I don't know. Can I say that on this podcast? Like,
Yeah, we're not sponsored by anybody. We're looking for a sponsor, so feel free.
okay, yeah. I would definitely take the under 2.5. Like if I was like looking at the lines right now, because this like these games, like 2-1 feels like a high score for this game.
I think also something that is going to be interesting is how these managers use subs, because there's no, they're going into international break. So it's like, do we see John Stones make an appearance? Does Doku and Grealish come on early, or do they wait till the 80th minute? How much Martinelli do we see, who can always provide a spark if y'all are down a goal or maybe up a goal and just want to push it? Yeah, I think the matchup between the managers is great, and it really makes me think like college football, like Nick Saban versus Curry Smart, and it's like Curry Smart was the one assistant that's been able to get Nick, other than Lane Kiffin one time, and it's like, is Arteta now like ready to surpass Pep? Like he has to beat him at some point. Will it happen today? Because that monkey won't get off.
Yeah.
For a while.
Okay, so I think I saw something in the chat really fast. Raya or Ramsdale. That's really interesting. But I'll get to that. But to finish with what you were saying, yeah, I think that the Arteta versus Pep matchup is going to be really interesting to watch too. I feel like they're like fundamentally different manager. Well, I feel like they're stylistically different managers, but like, they fundamentally have like the same principles, like, in the way they want to play. So it really makes for like interesting matchups. I feel like Pep is far more pragmatic than Arteta. So like, that definitely is something that I think gives him the edge, because like, I think, just the ability to like, switch up tactics like that, like, willingly play on the counter. I think that really like, just makes a difference in terms of like, your ability to grind out like, points in games. So I really rate him, but I don't think there's so much of a difference that like we're getting boat raced, like, because we have like Roy Hodgson or something at like manager, right? Like not to shit on Roy Hodgson, like just randomly, like not to give him a stray, but like, and, yeah, like, and then like Rye over Ramsdale. I think I like them for two different things. Like I actually like Ramsdale as a keeper because like he seems a little more gritty. If that's actually like something you can measure, I guess. Like at the midweek, like Raya seemed real careless when we lost in the Champions League. Like there was one time, like like I guess it might have been like the camera angles too, because they like cut to his fade and then like he like looked out and like he looked all photogenic and shit, and then he just sprayed just like this absolutely horrible ball like out towards the sideline, and it got picked off and they scored a goal. And like I don't know if it's just like the imagery around that, or like because that kind of gives you a feeling about a player too, or if it's like like I just don't like kind of like his steez or whatever, but I don't really think there's like levels between them the way people say. Like I feel like he's an above average shot stopper. Ramsdale's an above average shot stopper. I don't think one of them is phenomenal. I think Raya is like calmer on the ball, but like I don't really rate that a lot when it comes to keepers. Like, that's like a good like luxury skill to have. But like as a keeper, your primary job is to keep the ball out of the net with your hands. Like you're the only player that can use your hands. So like I really rate my keeper's ability to use their hands. Like, like it sounds crass and like simple, but like, soccer's a simple game, man. Like, your keeper uses his hands. He needs to be good with his hands. So
All right.
I don't have one or the other.
So let's I think we kind of like put out some score predictions. What are we feeling 29 minutes before the match kicks off on the score?
I think we're gonna And is Theo Walcott still in the league?
He is still in the
No,
league.
he's out now.
Oh, he's out?
Well, I thought he was out.
I don't
Wasn't he
know.
with Southampton last?
No,
He was with Everton last time I checked.
yeah, he's with Everton.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh shit. Oh wow.
Is he still
Oh,
there?
he's announcing. Yeah, he's out. That's what I thought. Yeah, he's been on the pitch side. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know like what that situation was, but in honor of Theo Walcott, I think we're going to give you guys a Tottenham today.
Okay.
Okay.
Came on at the right time, I guess.
Dugout City. Wow.
All right. What you got, Sharpie?
I'm going 3-1.
Okay.
Man City.
All right.
We don't suck.
I'm gonna stick with my my prediction from the podcast, which was a 2-2 draw. I just think that both teams are gonna score. Both teams have shown a propensity to get a draw. I also just get the feeling that Arsenal's gonna score in stoppage time, and I'm gonna be real mad. So I'm hoping ahead for that eventual outcome.
Quick question: how many? This is a fun game we like to play at the pub sometimes. Arsenal fans here in Chicago, we go to the Globe Pub, and watch is also the soccer team that I play for. We play over under on like stoppage time minutes. So like, just throw a number out there. Like, let's just say like 6.
Oh, we're playing at your house, like
Yeah,
for
7. At least 7.
If we're combining halves, it's going
11.
to be if we're combining halves, like it's going to be at least 20 minutes of stoppage time.
Oof. Yeah.
between both, because every match at the Etihad, and I'm not sure if this is a function of how y'all play or what, but like, or excuse me, at the Emirates, like seems to like have massive amounts of stoppage time. So
I mean,
yeah,
we keep time. We keep time as correct as possible. We don't believe in like actual minutes played. Well, we believe in actual minutes played. So like we're counting every second, especially against you guys.
I think the first half is going to be super smooth. Like I think it's going to be a clean first half, 2 minutes of stoppage time, because nobody wants to get a card and like mess up, for the second half. So it's kind of like that feel them out part of the boxing match. And then in the second half, things get aggressive, goals get scored. If they're really adding on a minute per goal, I see like 3 minutes in the second half, at least from goals, and then subs and all that. So I'm going to say +6 in the second half feels right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like any of it.
Oh, I'm in DC too. Hey.
I don't know. I think the first half. I agree with. Well, actually, yeah, I mostly agree with Charlie. I think the first half is going to be kind of smooth, unless there's a goal in the first half. If there's a goal in the first half, I think this is going to turn to absolute chaos. But if if it's like 0-0 at half, I think it's going to be really smooth. And then I think in the second half, we're probably going to end up getting like 9 minutes or something like that, because like both managers really like to make subs. Like I feel like both managers kind of have a rap for not making subs, but like I feel like both of them kind of make subs. They just kind of make them too late for like what people would like, so then they just kind of get that bad rap of not making subs. But I mean, I think we're going to see like 3 or 4 changes a piece, and if we see 3 or 4 changes a piece, plus goals or whatever, like it's going to be about 10 minutes. And then like we've got Jorginho in, so like Jorginho's giving you 75, 80 minutes. I expect him to snip in like at least 6 or 7 of those minutes on the second half on the ground, like especially if we're winning. Like if we're winning, it's a Jorginho flop show, and I'm here for it. Like not for nothing. Like one of the things about like players, like when they come to your team, you're like, oh, okay, like like this kind of works, like
Now I get
yeah.
it.
I remember we were playing somebody random, like somebody elbowed him, and like it wasn't like bad, but like it was enough where like he went down, and like I saw him do one of these, and I was like, that's my boy. Like he was on the
That shit
ground,
Osry.
he did the rib grab. I was like, all right, all right. Like when the keeper
Yeah.
grabs the ball and like he just falls to the ground for no reason. Like when it's your keeper, you love to see it. You're like, headsy play, headsy play. Like
Calm it down. Calm it down. Good job. Good job.
that guy's thinking.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
thinking
fine,
man's
bro.
game. All that other stuff.
Okay, I can see a draw, but I just need City to win for just the calamity that will be Twitter.
Wait, are these y'all Stella McCartney warm-ups? Because the women did it way better than the men.
Oh no, I haven't seen the men's Stella McCartney jerseys, but I definitely ordered the women's one. I ordered the women's one before they were out of stock, like in the first round. Like that is the best jersey we've put out this year. I also kind of have a bone to pick with Adidas because like he I mean, I guess like they kind of nosed us. Like they had a spark when they started, and now like kind of just garbage. Like so.
I mean that greenish, not the crazy highlighter green one, the other one, that's a dope kit. Like,
Yeah.
y'all have heat every year, man. Like y'all really do, and I y'all look good. Y'all may not win trophies a lot, but y'all look good when y'all play, and I respect that.
I mean, we win our fair amount of trophies. Like I tell everybody this year, if we somehow manage to win 2 trophies, that community shield is going to count as the treble. So
No, because we did that before, and they didn't like to count it. We actually wanted domestic trouble.
No, no,
They
no,
still don't
no,
like to
no, no,
count
no.
it.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because
Doesn't
it's
matter.
us. Is it because it's us?
Yeah.
They can count. They can count it as such, but
Gotcha.
we
Okay. Like
cannot.
Liverpool did, right? Like Liverpool did. Okay.
no, no.
Correct.
That was their trophy.
Correct.
That was
Once
their trophy this last year.
once you guys started counting it that way, like once people started counting it that way, it's like nope, we wanted to. We wanted to. We
It was cute in your picture though. It was real cute.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh, look at that community shield. That was adorable.
Look at this dish. Look at this dog. It's
I think
also
so.
nice.
I think I saw a doubles T-shirt one year when we won the Community Shield in the FA Cup. You know what? I wasn't
Damn right.
mad at it. I wasn't mad at it. I was
Life
like,
is short. You got to enjoy the highs. You got to enjoy the highs because the lows get bad. So you got to enjoy the highs, man.
yeah, like
Uh,
what is it? Like 19 other teams don't win anything. Like
Exactly.
hey, hey.
so.
Well,
I'll
I
take it.
mean, I figure we can get out of here. My internet has been crashing consistently for the last half hour, and it's starting to stress me out. So I need to get this figured out. I'm using my
All that
phone's Wi-Fi
fire.
right now.
It's all that fire I'm bringing.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Well, stop it,
Brum, brum, brum.
please.
He said, "Stop."
Because I need my internet back.
Yeah, I need to get out of here, boys. Oh, man.
All right, grab your popcorn.
All right.
Well,
Pretty sure this is gonna be good.
fans, yeah, let Shady Gang know. I'll just the homie Chop Soccer. If you want to hear about him and Ken, I actually am gonna have Ken on sometime next week to continue our discussion about NYCFC and their stadium construction.
Oh yeah, you guys.
Had him on last year when it was just. Yep. So just gonna hopefully continue that and keep those things going. But I am Crunk Chocolate, the Sharpie Charlie, Tom Bomb, and Fan28. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. And we are Shades of Blue. You know the vibes. Shady Gang, Shady Gang, Shady Gang.